Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we have a very special video because this is a review of this knife, the Bestech Spike, and it's also a giveaway of this same knife. So yeah, you should be getting excited. Instructions on how to enter will be somewhere in this video. I'm going to make you guys watch the entire video before I tell you how to win. Whoa! No, I'm just kidding. It'll be towards the end. And I might even leave a timestamp in the description. I don't know. But I would advise you to watch the whole video, the whole review, instead of just skipping to the end, because who knows? Maybe you'll watch the review and decide that maybe you don't want to win this knife. I don't know. I don't think so. This is a pretty cool knife. So let's start right in with the review. Alright, let's jump in with our size comparisons. And we'll start it off, as always, with our rats. So, here's the rat 1. Let's move up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And the rat 2. So, the Spike is definitely a full-size knife. And it also doesn't want to stand up very good. You're looking at a blade of about 3.5 inches. It's an 8-inch knife overall. So, you know, if you live in an area with 3-inch laws, this isn't for you. But yeah, as you can see, not a small knife at all. Alrighty, next let's bring out our flagship comparisons, as I like to call them. That would be the Spyderco PM2 and the Benchmade bug out, which needs cleaned up. So yeah, full-size knife. Pretty cool. Let's do our Civivis. Here is the Elementum. We'll do small ones on top. And here's the Praxis. Yep, that's how big it is. And to close up here, we will compare it against some... I didn't bring the Gerbers today. Maybe we'll stop comparing against the Gerbers. Oh, boo-hoo. Let's compare it against some other pretty well-known Bestech. Wow, that blade is dirty. This is the knife I was carrying today, was the Bestech Lion, who also doesn't want to stand up on my surface here. Jeez, and here's the Paladin, who, yay, he stands. So, yeah, there you go. Well, the action on that Lion. And then, here's another well-known Bestech. That's the Swordfish. Alrighty, cool. And you know what, heck, just for the heck of it, there's the, for you guys, recently reviewed Civivi Riffle. I think this is the review that's going to come out before this video, although I filmed that review a long time ago. Anyways, specs on this knife as far as materials go. So we're looking at a blade that's a drop point, not quite a straight back. And it is made out of 12C27. That's really cool. Also, excuse my hands. You know, I've been working all week, and my hands are all dry and crusty. You're looking at G10 handles. Yes, these are G10. These are not injection molded. Camera, could you focus on the knife here? We're talking about a knife. Thank you. Steel pocket clip, inset steel liners, ball bearings. Bunch of good stuff. So, how about we go cut up some cardboard and test out on the pocket. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to say this. This knife is discontinued. Bestech has discontinued the Spike, and I think it's a real shame. Spoiler alert for the end of the review. But yes, that's another reason I wanted to give this away for my, 100 subscriber celebration type deal. Because, yeah, soon you're not going to be able to get these. As of right now, they are available, but, get one for free before they're gone, right? Anyways, let's go do some cutting. Alright, let's do this. It is a beautiful, if not somewhat smoky, day here in northern New Mexico. I think the camera's fine. Okay, so I have been carrying this guy a little bit. He has not gone through as much use and testing as other knives because, you know, I've been planning on giving this one away, so I want to keep him fairly nice looking for you guys. Let's go ahead and cut up some cardboard. Again, we won't do too much because, well, I'm going to be giving this to one of you guys. And yes, I will clean it up and, you know, hone his edge if he needs it. Oil him up before I send it to you. So, don't worry. So, let's start off here. Before we start off, 12C27. This blade is ground fairly well. See the tip there. 12C27 is a steel that I really like. It's in that same group of steels as stuff like 14C28, and it's a Sandvik steel. So very stainless, relatively tough for a stainless steel, and it'll hold an edge for a while. It'll hold its edge fine, perfectly fine. And it's very easy to sharpen, and it gets very sharp. 12C27 is the same steel that Opinel uses on their stainless steel models. Mora, CRKT actually uses that steel occasionally. I wish they'd use it more, but, you know. Alright, so, like I said, the edge geometry on this knife is what I would call perfectly fine, probably average. Whoops. They just wanted to get away from me. Yeah, as far as just EDC slicing goes, let's grab some more. It works beautifully. Shoot some of these at the camera. All right, last shot. Alright, so yeah, really, really good for your everyday cutting tasks. And yes, we will clean him up after this. How's he carry? That's the next thing to talk about. That's about all that shows in your pocket. Very easy to get in, get it out. So what we can see here with the clip, I think Bestech makes really good clips. I do. I think they make great clips. So kind of a standard loop over clip. I think this is kind of a medium ground between deep carry and being able to grab your knife pretty good. So some people might like it, some people might not. The clip screws are not flat. The clip itself is recessed into the scales, but the screws, no, they're button screws. That's something I wish Bestech would move away from. I wish they start using flat screws. But as it is, I mean, if I don't grab my shirt, there is no resistance in or out. Could do that all day long. So, I mean, if it works good, you can't complain. And I do like having the clip recessed, because then you do not get any clip wiggle. And I don't like clip wiggle. So, good clip. Works really great. And, yeah, the knife overall, pretty slim, fairly lightweight. There is actually quite a bit of internal weight relief. You can see that. So, yeah, really good in hand, in the pocket. In hand, yeah, it's great in hand too. You know, the ergonomics are fairly neutral. I feel like I'm close enough to the edge right here. You get jimping right here, and you get this spot up here that it's not jimping, it's more like relieved out, and I thought it'd be uncomfortable. It's actually not. Like, this works good, and it does kind of work in tandem with the jimping to give you just a really solid grip, so that's nice. The scales are slightly contoured, so a little bit chunky. That might come into play in the pocket, but I didn't really see that it bothered me. It does add to the ergos quite a bit. The pocket clip, you can feel it just a little bit, but like not really bad. So very comfortable overall. We'll talk about the scales themselves more at the table, but for now I'll just say very grippy. Really nice. Action. I'll let that speak for itself. It's a good action. No complaints. The flipper tab works really well. You got a little bit of jimping up there, shaped nicely. You can light switch it all day, every day. You can push button it. Whoops. You can push button it, so yeah, no complaints. Let's get back to the table. All right, Bestech Spike. Let's get into it. As always, we'll start with what I like. So the first thing I want to talk about actually are the scales. Actually, the whole handle in general. So focus up. There we go. So as you can see here, it has a very interesting pattern on it, right? When I first, and in fact, I think a lot of people, if you first see pictures of this knife without knowing the specs or anything, you probably think that these scales are injection molded. You know, that these are plastic scales. Because one of the advantages of plastic scales over G10 is that they're more easy to get, I guess, less expensive to get, you know, intricate design type stuff on because, you know, it's just molding. And with G10, you have to mill it all out. Well, this is G10. But you can see that it's milled out very, very nicely. Like that, it's really nicely milled out. As compared to, you know, a lot of G10, which, although I must say, Bestech always does a nice job with their G10. But, you know, instead of just leaving it flat or doing minimal texturing or like dimpling that a lot of people do, this is really nice. You have these lines going this way, and then you have this little almost border that comes down through there. And in the hand, it's nice. It's nice. It's not aggressive per se, but it's very grippy. However, since the lines go this way, it doesn't really affect the pocket clip. And heck, look, the pocket clip even lands on this thing here, which, yeah, probably helps with its sliding in and out of the pocket. So that's really cool. I like that. These handles are very unique. They're very different. And I like seeing, you know, this kind of work put into something like this. So that's really, really cool. Next thing about the handles. As you can see, they have a little bit of, well, maybe you can't see that, but they are slightly contoured. There's a little bit of rounding going over here. And again, that adds to the ergos. Everything I say about the handle just translate to good ergos, right? It feels really nice in hand. Yeah, so a little bit of contouring. Really, really cool. Another thing that's cool is the liners are actually inset. So you do not see the liners poking up out of this handle. No liners. They're in there, but the scales come over them. And that's really cool. You know, like I said, this knife does have that contouring, and it's a fairly thick knife. And let's bring out the Rat 1 for comparison. Yeah, but if the liners had been like on the Rat, this knife would have been a little bit thicker. So, yeah, that's awesome. You have a nice little back spacer here. I think that's pretty cool. Real nice. You have a lanyard hole for those of you who use it. And it's really not that obtrusive for me, at least. I really don't mind lanyard holes. Sometimes they can be obnoxious, but this one, I mean, I don't use a lanyard that often, but, you know, I just really don't notice stuff like that. So, yeah, that's really cool. Next thing, collared stop pin. So, there's our stop pin, right? You can see it's collared by the flipper tab, and then when the knife is open, it's also collared by the blade. I like that. It's a little bit, it gives you a little bit of strength, and I don't know, it just also looks nice. Next thing, solid lockup. Really nice. You got a lot of, it's locked up really solid and strong, but you do have a lot of room to, you know, move over as time goes on. So that's good. Pocket clip. Excellent. Love this pocket clip. I think Bestech makes good clips, even when they're not deep carried. But this one is kind of a deep carry clip and a not deep carry clip at the same time. I like it a lot. This is kind of my preferred type of carry, where it goes in the pocket and is fairly discreet, but also easy to grab onto. So that's really cool. The clip itself, great spring. It's inset into the scales. The clip or the screws being button screws is something that I guess I'm not excited about it. But as I demonstrated in the carry demonstration, yeah, that was a nice sentence. It goes in and out of the pocket really good. So what are you going to complain about, right? If it works, it works. Don't complain. So I'm not going to. Good clip. The knife overall just carries really, really well. Next thing, minimal hardware. So you have a T8 pivot. These screws here are T6. And would it be better if they were T8? Absolutely. But let's zoom in on there. What you can see is that the hardware itself is pretty deep. And there's only 2 of them, so, you know, just be careful with your driver. I don't think you'll strip out. Bestech usually has pretty good quality hardware, so that's nice. Centering, perfect. No complaints there. And finally, let's move on to the blade, because I think this is where things get really good. And let's just start off with, that's a nice looking blade, guys. Like, for EDC, this is nice. This is really, really nice. This will do just about anything you want to do. Got plenty of belly for slicing, got some flat for push cuts, got a nice tip for piercing. And, you know, it's an acute tip, but it's not fragile, which I really like. Go away, mosquito. Shoo. One of the downsides of doing reviews outdoors. So yeah, that's cool. The edge termination here, as you can see, is pretty good. I like that a lot. And we'll talk about this. This could have gone in the ergonomics, but look at this. Isn't that kind of weird how you have your jimping back here, which I would almost say, if that was it, I'd say that jimping's not in a good spot. Right there it is, but, you know, I like to put my thumb up here. I thought having a more narrow part of the spine right here, jeez, would be a bad idea, but it's not. It's actually really comfortable. And, yeah, that's nice. It's really nice. It shows that some care was put into this blade. But let's get into the 2 things I think are the very best parts of this blade and the best part of this knife in general. Okay, so what, in my opinion, is the very best part of this knife? Well, 2 things. Number 1, look at this stonewash. It's a beautiful stonewash. Just gorgeous. Love that stonewash. And it's stonewashed on the grind and satin on the flats. But, you know, I love a good stonewash, and this is an excellent stonewash. Very nice. It'll hide scratches and smears. In fact, smears from cutting those boxes just a little bit ago. Right there, that's about all you can see. And I'll clean those up, but I mean, man, that's awesome. Love this stonewash. Really beautiful. Really adds a lot to this knife. Next thing, I love the blade steel 12C27. Look, I'm not going to talk about price so much with this knife in this review because, again, it's being discontinued, and most places that are selling it are now selling it at a discount. I think these were about $30 when they were in production. I got this one for, I think, $24. $25. I think it was $24.99. Whatever. But look, 12C27 is a great steel. It's a great steel. It does not have the edge retention, it does not have edge retention equal to D2, but it's a really well-rounded steel. Very easy to sharpen. Takes a wicked edge. Very stainless. Decently tough. And it will hold that edge long enough. It will hold that edge long enough. Sandvik steels are really nice. And I love seeing 12C27 on a knife. Especially at the right price. Other companies that use 12C27 are kind of few and far between. In fact, I think this is Bestech's only knife that used 12C27. But man, I wish there was more. I'd like to see more It's a great steal, especially at a budget. Love seeing it here. So, in a lot of ways, this is one of Bestech's most unique knives with the 12C27 blade and the interesting handle. But yeah, love that blade. Okay, so let's go into what I don't like so much. Okay, so what do I not like so much? Well, I think some people won't appreciate the branding. Yeah, it's right there in that beautiful stone wash. I mean, they could have just gotten rid of the Bestech knives and just had the Bestech logo like up here a little bit smaller. Whatever. The word spike over here, for some reason, the I looks like it's all by itself, so it's like sp-I-key. I don't know, you know? Yeah, that is what it is, I guess. Next thing, the clip is not reversible. That's going to be an issue for some people. You know, for me being a righty, it's not. But, you know, do kind of wish it was reversible for you lefties, because I'm looking out for you guys. And guys, that's about it. I just realized actually that I forgot to talk about the action. The action on this knife is superb. It rockets out of there, and it shakes shut very easily. So yeah, that's really, really cool. Other negatives. I mean, honestly, geez, they did the flipper tab really nice. One thing, I guess I do kind of wish the Jimpy came out just a little bit more, but they have this thing there that works better than I would have expected. The grind, I mean, the blade itself slices very well. I guess it could be a little slicier, but, you know, that's nitpicking. The worst thing about this knife is that it's discontinued, because I really like this knife. I really, really like this knife. In fact, I'm sad I'm giving this knife away. That's how much I like this knife. I'm going to miss this knife. Let's go on to my final kind of conclusions on this knife, and then we'll move on to giveaway. Woo! So, my final conclusions on this knife is that, yeah, this is a really solid EDC knife. I think this is a fantastic knife this is a great knife for anyone. It's very easy to sharpen with that blade steel, but it also has a lot of good performance. And it's very simple in a lot of ways. And this is something that I like about Bestech, because this knife is simple in a lot of ways. It's a flipper with G10. You know, you hold it here, there's no, like, you know, real fancy ergonomics, no big finger choils, or no, you know, big ramps or anything to just make it fit your hand like a glove, but it still fits your hand really well. It's very solid. You know, no fancy finger flicking or whatever, just you know, a flipper tab, it's out. Very simple. However, they managed to include a lot of complexity in their simplicity. And what I mean by that is, you know, like these scales. This milling, it looks really cool in my opinion. It also gives you a lot of good traction. The blade here, you know, just these things that show that they're paying attention. The beautiful stone wash. It makes this knife feel really nice. Really, really nice. And, I mean, I love how it carries. This knife carries really well. This clip is really great. This is a fantastic knife for just about anyone. Very solid. I mean, you know, you want to talk about performance. Is it as slicey as the riffle? No, it's not. It's not as slicey as a riffle. I think this thing, when I measured it, was 19 thousandths behind the edge. 18 to 19 thousandths behind the edge. I can't remember. My calipers are a little bit screwy sometimes. But, you know, which is not thick, but it's perfectly usable. And that's my opinion. That's my final conclusions on this knife, is that it is just supremely usable. And it's not like here. The Rat 1 is a knife that I would consider to be very utilitarian, and that's very function over form. Well, I mean, you want to talk about function over form, here's the PM2. And yeah, I love using the PM2. I beat the heck out of this knife. but it doesn't, it sometimes doesn't. This knife here was $180, and it doesn't give me the same kind of zing as this $30 knife. And that right there says a lot. So, long story short, this knife is very functional, but it also feels very well designed, and it feels good, especially at the price, and it's very recommendable. And whoever wins this knife, I think they're going to really like it. Okay, let's go ahead and do this giveaway, right? Okay, so how to enter. Wait for the wind to calm down a little bit so you guys can hear me, because this is the most important part of the video, right? This is the part you've all been waiting for. How to enter. Well, you know what? Let's do rules first. Let's do rules first. Yeah, guys, I'm doing this off the cuff. Welcome to my channel. So, number one rule, you gotta be subscribed. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because we have a lot of fun here. At least I do. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I have fun. So subscribe and support my fun. Har har har. So yes, you gotta be subscribed. Next thing, 18 and up only. I'm sorry. You know, this is definitely the kind of knife I wouldn't hesitate to give a 17-year-old, for example. But 18 and up only. And you must have an address in the continental United States. So, yeah. If that's a deal breaker for you, I'm really sorry. But that's why I'm going to have to do this. Yeah. Awesome. How are you going to enter? Okay. Leave a comment. That's what it's going to be. You got to leave a comment on this video. What is it going to be about? You know what? I've got an idea. Alright. In case you guys didn't know, I'm a dinosaur nut. In fact, I'm studying to be a paleontologist. So, here's what you have to say in your question for this giveaway. Not question, I meant comment. Oops. It's not a question at all. I want you to tell me down below what your favorite dinosaur is. And if you don't have a favorite dinosaur, that's fine. Instead, you can say, who gives a damn about dinosaurs? Just give me a free knife. That works too. So, there we go. That's how you're going to enter in to this giveaway. I'm going to leave this up. We'll let this run for 2 weeks. This is going to be going up on a Wednesday. What is next Wednesday? Not sure. But 2 weeks from whenever this video goes live, I'll put in the description when I will be doing the drawing, and when we do the drawing, I will give further instructions on how to contact me and claim your prize, because I think you're really gonna like it. This is a fantastic knife, and I'm sad to see it go. But I also want to say with that, the reason I did a giveaway is because I reached 100 subscribers. In fact, right now I'm pretty close to 130. And yeah, that's not a big number by, you know, YouTube standards. In fact, it's pretty minuscule, but I'm happy. I'm really happy. And I'm so glad that, you know, a bunch of you guys have enjoyed this content enough to click that little red button. It really means the world to me. I love knife YouTube. In fact, right now, more than being a knife YouTuber, I'm a knife YouTube enjoyer. I've been watching channels like Nick Shabazz and Metal Complex and Slicey Dicey and Love Them Knives and Needs Knives and all of them for a long time, and I still watch them. And I think it's really cool that 130 of you thought my content was good enough to subscribe to, even when there's, you know, a bunch of other people. So it means a lot to me, and I'm going to give back to you guys. Will there be any other giveaways? Yeah, I imagine. But we'll have to wait and see if we hit any more mile markers. So, yeah. This video will be up for 2 weeks, like I said. That's as long as you have to enter. You know, go and tell your friends and your family and your dogs and your cats and your buffalo and get them all to come and subscribe and enter in. Or don't. I mean, you know, the less competition, the more chance you'll win. So, you know, maybe you don't want to tell a lot of people to subscribe. Unless, of course, there are people you know and they're entering for you. So, that might be a reason. Not sure where I was going with that, but there's a joke in there somewhere. Anyways, that's all I've got. It's starting to rain. And I'm going to go inside and eat dinner. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Especially on this video, like, comment, subscribe. A little bit important. And I've been Gideon Stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.